Stop praying to God and start doing for God. When I refer to God, understand that I'm referring to God within. Oftentimes when people are praying, they are praying to a God without. They're praying to a God that is separate than themselves. And because of our traditional upbringing, whether it be Christianity, Islam, we tend to think that God is something outside of us that is looking down upon us, judging us, and we are then asking for some kind of favor, some kind of, ability to look out for us and make sure that we're blessed and that all the things that we want somehow are miraculously materialized and manifested. But if you follow me, you understand that God isn't really outside of you. God is within. God is, in fact, who you are. Your consciousness is that individual expression of God. God is that intellect, that wisdom, that source that governs and orchestrates all that is. But because you are coming from your own perspective, you are coming from a reality of your point of view, then therefore, everything that you're experiencing is a result of you experiencing it from that God consciousness, so to speak. And your objective in this reality, in this spiritual journey, is to come into contact, connection, deeper connection, come into a self-realization of that God consciousness and recognizing that you are the God of your universe. Now, this isn't to belittle religion or Christianity. This isn't to make a statement that is controversial or something to bring up an argument, because that is not at all what I'm about. But what I want you to do is just look at the many deeper levels of your spiritual understanding and even your religious background and take a deeper look into your relationship with that divinity, right? With that is within you, with that is you. And I want you to really come into understanding as to what prayer really is and what it really looks like. Because we've been taught from children that prayer is simply bowing down, hands and knees, beside the bed, in the morning and at night, praying and asking God to do us a favor or to bless us or to bless other people. Now, what I want you to understand is that as you've been doing that, you probably felt a sense of disconnection. I felt a sense of, well, my prayers aren't being answered, or, I feel quite silly doing these prayers. And if you are somebody who it resonates with, is because you probably have a deeper spiritual understanding as to what it is that you're really doing. And so when we are praying, we have to understand that we are communicating with that within us, that divinity, that spark, that power that is within us. You cannot be separated from it. Okay, so the idea of God being separate from you, judging you, is false. And I'm not one to tell somebody that something is false, because I do believe that if you believe it, then it is true. So again, I'm not here to argue or debate that with you. But what I want you to really just have a open mind about is that the idea that when we are communicating to this idea of God, we're communicating to a power that we have access to, right? A power that we can essentially tap into. Because when we communicate, we are sending out a vibration. We are sending out a frequency. And that frequency vibrates throughout all of that we experience, all of that you see, all of that you hear, all of the things that you are experiencing and seeing is a result of you vibrating at a particular frequency. So when you quote unquote pray, you are projecting words, thoughts, intentions out into the universe, and that somehow reciprocates back to you, right? It reflects back to you. And depending on other areas of your life, other layers of who you are, your ego, conscious mind, subconscious mind, all the things that you're doing, your speaking, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, then are aligning with a result that you are materializing, thus manifestation, right? So when you are praying, you are in part doing the the things that will help support and reflect to you the things that you are desiring and aligning yourself with. Now, prayer is not only just words. Prayer, more importantly, is action. Prayer really is about alignment. It is about aligning yourself with that reality that you are desiring or seeking to create. And when you take away this external deity or entity and you bring it to yourself and you bring it in a way that makes you 100% accountable for what happens and doesn't happen, then you gain true power. Because as long as you are praying to something outside of yourself, which it isn't, right? It is all connected. Then when you pray outside of yourself, though, what you are doing is essentially separating yourself from the power that is. And then you are hoping that that thing gives you what it is that you're asking. Whereas on a metaphysical level, prayer is essentially aligning your speech, your thoughts, and even your actions with the result of you creating that thing. So you have to be mindful that prayer isn't something that is projected externally. It is more of an internal projection. It is a way of subconsciously programming your mind. And then when you pray, you really have to pray in alignment with affirmations and speaking in the affirmative, speaking in a way that makes what that you desire in the current state of time and presence, right? In the current state of the now, the moment. So you have to be mindful about that. Now, I know I'm getting really deep into this whole thing and I didn't mean to, so my apologies. But the most important thing you want to really recognize is that prayer is not just simply a projection of words out into the universe, hoping the universe responds accordingly. Prayer is really the speaking of the thing that you desire in the affirmative, right? In the now, as if it is already. And then carrying that vibration throughout the rest of your day. You are communicating with the divine within you, not without you. And then you are moving with the reality of that thing as if it is, because it is, right? It is here. And therefore, if it is here, then it will vibrate and it will be created in the physical realm, in this reality, in the now. You just have to simply walk with that ownership and confidence, okay? Now, the walk is really important as well, because walking with that confidence really means that you are moving in faith and understanding that your movement really means your actions, okay? So if you want that $1 million or you want that successful business, you have to move accordingly. If you want that beautiful relationship, you have to move accordingly. If you want your ideal health or fitness, you have to move and act accordingly. So you speak it out, you start your day that way, right? An affirmation, you move accordingly throughout your day, and then you end the day the same way with your affirmation. And that thus creates a program that allows you to essentially communicate with that divine within you, with the God within you. So prayer is not about speaking. It's not about simply just saying it and hoping it happens. Prayer is about programming. It's about setting the intention in your mind and moving forward with the faith that it is. So prayer is not the request or the questioning of something more powerful than you, because you can understand that you are one with that power. So it is really about aligning yourself with what it is that you have created or desire to create, understanding that you are the God of your problems and the God of your answers. So if you are in a situation where things are challenging and you're in a bind or there are obstacles and there are tough times, you go within. You communicate with that divinity within, because that is where the answers are. The answers are not outside of you. They are within you. So when you pray, pray within. When you move with the confidence and faith that it is. And that will essentially create the reality that you desire. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and also get access to this free ebook, The Power Within. When you also subscribe, you'll be invited to my Manifestation Monday morning meetings at 7 a.m. So make sure you set your alarm. I look forward to seeing you there. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.